I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points. I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday morning or Wednesday night if you're hanging out with us. Got Jimmy and Troy here last week. Unfortunately, Jimmy couldn't make it, and I was running way behind, so we had to scrap it last minute. So quick catch up. How was your guys' weekend? We briefly talked about it, but we didn't really get into it. How was your guys' weekend?
Well, Troy had the worst week he's had in, 6 weeks. So for that means 15 and 9 plus 4.55 units.
I thought you were about to tell me he got dusted.
No, that's what this guy's doing right now. That's what this guy's doing. It's unprecedented. Because I've tracked cappers. I've tracked everybody who does shows with me for 9 years. This guy, 148 wins, 89 losses, 62.4%. plus 54.23 units, ROI plus 22.88%, average line minus 105. And it felt like he had a losing week just going 15 and 9 plus 4.55 units.
Yeah, you set the bar too high, bro.
I actually had a losing week, 9 and 9, down 0.11 units.
You paid the juice off with that three-legger that you're just hitting at 100% clip. I mean, variance is always right around the corner, and I'm just always trying to just put the last week behind me, start a new week, never get too high.
Well, I always try. Yeah, I'm the same way. I always try whenever you have a monster weekend, like you get new viewers, and I always try to not like because I just had a monster weekend myself, and there's like people like, oh, just started following you 4 days ago. You're the man. I'm like, dude, just chill. Like it's not. I do not go 16-3 every weekend. I promise you that was a rare occasion. But yeah, we got.
I did hear you had a monster week. Yeah, Kyle, great work, man.
Yeah, it was a very good one for me. And the 3 losses, like 2 of them should have been wins. You can't play the should have, could have game, but like. It could have been even better than that, as crazy as it sounds. Yeah, it was a very good weekend for me. Hopefully that continues. We've got 6 games queued up. Good news, we're mostly in agreement. There's only one that I disagree with you guys on. There's a couple where I'm not on the same thing, but I have a feeling where you're going with it, and I don't disagree with your train of thought. For example, actually, we'll go in order. This first one, I uploaded a video about this. I said I would play the Jets at 14. You guys, wait, one of you is on the over, right?
No, we're both
on the over. Okay, take it away.
Boy, why don't you get us started here? Because my plan when we came and capped this game was not to be on the over. For me, for our show on Tuesday, I'm focused on making sure that I have all of the information rather than needing to make come in with decisions made. Just have as much information as possible. And when Troy started talking about his thoughts on this game, and I'll let him hit leadoff, I thought the optics were absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. We've been watching these 10-7 games that have been horrific. They're so slow. Anybody who's been betting overs has been getting destroyed. And as we capped it, I began agreeing with him fully on his breakdown. So take it away, Troy, and then I'll jump in after.
Yeah. I was just pretty much the entire handicap doing mental gymnastics, just trying not to bet this Patriots team because my entire thesis the last 5 weeks now, I've been talking about the Patriots heading towards their all-time high in the market. Now they're there, right? They're laying double digits at home to a team they lost, I think, 2 of the last 3 games against. And so I really was fighting my inner demons to get back to fading the Patriots. But then you look at what the Jets just did, and they're off 2 of the most underwhelming wins in the NFL season, in my opinion. I mean, the type of winning situation where I'm born to fade the Jets after the win they just had and the win against the Bengals, because I think that speaks volumes to who the Bengals are defensively. This is a one-dimensional offense, and I feel like this is a perfect team in the Patriots to defend against the run, right? Because the Jets are going to try to run the ball if Fields is that quarterback. And if you just look at the track record, I know they haven't faced a bunch of good rushing attacks. You pointed that out, Kyle. I was watching your video before he came on. they haven't faced a bunch of good rushing attacks, but when they're one-dimensional, it's a team that could definitely suffocate the run. And you look at Drake May, what he's been able to do. I mean, I don't know where this team would be without him. I think it's super impressive what he's doing because the run game for him hasn't been there as well. They haven't been able to run the ball efficiently. And I know for a fact Josh McDaniels has a ton to do with this. But right now, Drake May is my MVP because of what he's able to do with, in spite of a running game. So I go back and forth, and I start to make the case for the Jets, and we start talking about old Tyrod Taylor potentially coming in this game. Because if the Jets come out the first few possessions and they're not able to generate any rushing, any line yards, any run game, and Justin Fields is forced to pass the ball, he's going to find his way to the bench pretty damn quick, in my opinion. And I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks on the chopping block this week, if not already out. So, be careful with that. And the history of this market, double-digit favorites, prime time, even outside of prime time. Market moving towards the home team. We see these markets go over at a ridiculous rate. So and I feel like this number is going to start ticking back up before the game starts. So you could get CLB with the 43 right now. I love the over in this spot. Despite my thoughts on the Jets not being able to move the ball, the Patriots haven't faced a mobile quarterback all season. They only faced one. Basically, the two quarterbacks that you would consider to be mobile actually put up the most points and had the most efficient offenses. So I think that there could be a case for Fields, and I think Tyrod Taylor will come off and be able to pick apart or make some noise against this pass defense. So I like the over.
Yeah, I would lean towards over as well. Definitely wouldn't take an under. And you touched on the reason I'm leaning towards the Jets. I don't have a bet on the game or anything. I don't think it's crazy that the Jets are able to run the ball in this game. The Jets' offensive line has generated some push this year. They've pretty consistently run the ball. I mean, even on games where they look bad, sometimes the rushing numbers still look pretty good. And like Troy said, I was talking about in the video, Patriots have played like 2 games all year against teams that can actually run the ball. They played their last 5 games: Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks. All teams that have struggled to run the ball all year. Last week they played the Bucks with no Christian Ellis at linebacker. The Bucks actually had really efficient rushing numbers in the game. So I think the Jets are able to run the ball, and we're talking about 2 touchdowns in a division game. I don't really have too much conviction on this one. Jim, you're on the over.
I really like it. I like it very much. The Jets just let Dylan Gabriel on the road put up 278 yards against them. We know that this defense without Quinnen Williams. I mean, Quinnen Williams is the big part to me. He's bigger than Sauce, but we know that it's becoming. We can't even really judge them from their season-long statistics. You take Quinnen out of that front, and they're very penetrable. And the rush defense that you guys are talking about for the Patriots ranked 20th. The red zone defense for the Patriots is the worst in the National Football League at 73.9%. Now, can Fields score touchdowns without Garrett Wilson? If he doesn't, if the Patriots blow him out early, Tyrod Taylor comes in, and there's just garbage points aplenty. And everybody is been watching these 10-7 football games. We had 2 of the 3 spotlight games last week, 10-7. Anybody betting overs is getting crushed. So nobody wants to be involved in overs. You have 74% of the tickets, 79% of cash on the under. It's the optics, I think, are absolutely perfect. I mean, I think Drake May likes having all eyes on him. Travion Henderson coming off a 147-yard game. Mac Hollins put up 106 yards. They have weapons. And Christian Barmore has a back injury. Is he going to be there stopping the run? And if he is, how many snaps is he going to be able to take with this back injury and only having 72 hours off? I really like it. Now, when I say really like it, it's just 1 unit, and it's just the full game over. I'm not hammering it or anything like that, but I do really like it.
All right, let's move on to the next one. And of the 6 games you picked, the ones I actually bet are the last 3. So the first 3, I just have some thoughts. I actually have bets on the last 3.
Is this the one you disagree with?
One of my bets is one I disagree with. Yeah.
This.
Oh no,
right?
not this. No.
This one.
No, I don't disagree with your guys. I think it's a little expensive for my taste, but I don't disagree. I'm interested to hear what you have to say, but obviously I could see in the email what you're on. But yeah, go ahead. You guys are on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I've been I've had an incredible read on this Steelers team. I faded the Steelers at Cincinnati. Then I faded them again with the Packers. And as soon as the whole world wants to sell them, I buy them against the Colts. And then I fade them again last week. We were talking about that before the show. I was on the Chargers. And the common theme in all four of those situations, the common theme was that the public got crushed. The public lost in all four situations. If you look at the Steelers this season, it's been true. And that's just one variable of this market that's extremely bullish in favor of the Steelers, in my opinion. But you could also talk about the X's and O's, because I think there's quite a lot here that we could point to say Pittsburgh's going to have a better showing defensively than we've seen this past week, or in the first matchup. I'm sorry. But we've seen the defense for the Steelers team surging. And I say surging because they were absolutely god-awful before that, right? Before the last two games. And it's because they moved Ramsey back to safety and they started playing two high safety looks. Before that, they were cover three and playing a ton of man-to-man. And they're still playing some man-to-man, but it's from a too high look. It's easier to be disguised. And Joe Flacco is night and day, single high and two high safeties. His EPA per drop back, he goes from 2nd to 28th. Yards per attempt from 1st to 31st. Passer rating from 1st to 30th. Flacco faced Pitt. He was playing cover 1, cover 3. And Chicago and New York, like all these teams that he's seen, that he's had this great amount of success, they all play cover 1 or 1-3, basically single high. So, and if the only game he's played two high safeties is Green Bay, which is a better defense than Pitt. But because we know the Steelers are going to be able to score points. So the question is, can the Steelers get stops? I think the Steelers are going to get way more stops than we've seen in the first matchup. I love that the public is now back to fading the Steelers. I think this is a perfect time to buy the Steelers. So yeah, I'm on the Steelers double result.
I don't.
And I plan on adding more. I think I'm gonna end up with the spread in my pocket and maybe a money line parlay.
All right, Jim, you agree?
Well, I do. Like with us working together for even this short amount of time, all I want to do is buy low and sell high.
Yeah.
And so when a team loses as bad as the Steelers lost to the Chargers, I'm very interested in them in the next week. So, I came to the show interested in the Steelers. When Troy talked about this game, we talk about, does this go through the number 6, the 6 down to 5.5 to 5 to 4.5? Because we know when a dog goes through the number 6, it's a monster. The question is, did this line actually start at 6? There were 2 games where we were and we just decided, no, it didn't really. Now, there was a couple books who opened it at 6 that moved it right away with, limits. But then I got over that. And then I wanted to know if Troy was going to be bullish on the Steelers, then I wanted to see more than just the double result. Like, I can easily see the double result. Now, not everybody has books that allow them to bet the double result. The Bengals are not getting Trey Hendrickson back. Logan Wilson was not being played, so Logan Wilson is being traded to the Cowboys. Cam Taylor-Britt is being terrible. Shamar Stewart, we don't even know if Shamar Stewart is going to play. You have Burrow back at practice. He has stated that he wants to play in the Thanksgiving Day game on November 27th. You have a Cincinnati Bengals team. They're the first team since 1966 to score at least 38 points in consecutive games and lose both of them. Whatever Al Golden's doing, it's not working. They have allowed 30 or more points 6 times in a 2-year span. It's just no teams have done that. They're the first team since 2012 to allow 300 points in their first 9 games. They're the 8th team to allow at least 27 points in 8 straight games. And they just beat the Steelers. Tomlin was embarrassed. He was nervous about Flacco being picked up. Everything about this here thought this was a perfect buy low spot on the Pittsburgh Steelers against a team that is last in rushing, 78.8 yards per game. They have the 3rd least yards in the NFL before contact. There's just problems all over the field. They lead the league in missed tackles. It's so easy to see the holes in the Bengals. And if people are going to focus on how bad the Steelers looked last week, I want in. But I'm not. The only bet I'm making is the double result. I'm not moving. on the spread, and I'm not using it as a money line parlay. This was a spot that Troy was bullish on. And when Troy is bullish on a spot, he starts adding throughout the week. He said he was going to add throughout the week. So I'm very interested to see how he does it. If he does take the 5 or the 5.5, if he uses them in a money line parlay, because Troy's got me on these money line parlays, something that I'd kind of cut out of my repertoire.
And rightfully so. To be honest, there's a lot of landmines out there, and any parlay, I mean, you're getting held. You know, you're facing a little bit more hold, so you have to really have your shit down. But yeah, I expect to get this line to go down to 4.5, and I'll be glad taking the spread at 4.5.
I think the way I would go with this one, I actually think the Steelers defense is going to rebound in a major way. We all know what happened in the last game. I believe all three of us took the Bengals on this show in the last game. Cincinnati wins outright 33-31, and the Bengals offense really isn't slowed down. As Jim said, they scored 38 plus points and lost both games in the last two, which is just wild. So you look at the Bengals offensive numbers and it just looks like a steamrolling. Like they're just lighting up everybody. But I really think Tomlin is going to have this defense a lot more prepared than they were in the first game. It was kind of a unique game. So obviously the Steelers pass rush, that's a strength, right? They have guys that get to the quarterback. Joe Flacco still threw for 342 yards in the game. How? His average time to release in the game was 2.26 seconds. He got the ball out fast as hell. I don't even know if I've ever seen it that fast. He got the ball out fast as hell. He dropped back to pass 49 times in the game. Guess how many passes traveled 20 yards? 49 dropbacks. See if you can guess it.
1.
4. 3. He dropped back to pass 49 times and 3 passes traveled 20 yards in the game. So,
you know, what that tells us is that he knew exactly what he was going to get. Man coverage or cover 3. It's so easy to beat single high safety. Like the meta, all the great defensive coordinators are playing 2 high shells.
Right. So here they are at home in Pittsburgh coming off a loss. I think Tomlin is going to be more prepared for exactly that. It's supposed to be a very windy day too. So I think the Steelers can afford. Yeah, I'm seeing 16 to 18 mile an hour winds. I think the Steelers can afford to be aggressive defensively, whether it's sending extra rushers, whether it's even daring Flacco to take a shot downfield, which he clearly doesn't want to do. He clearly wants to dink and dunk on this Steelers defense. I expect Pittsburgh's defense to be a lot more prepared for what Cincinnati wants to do.
The wind is such a good point, Kyle, because I had 15 mile per hour 48 hours ago, but it's gotten heavier in the last 2 days, the expectations. And what is that going to do for the Bengals or for the Steelers? Exploit the Bengals rushing attack, which has not been very good. And it's only good when Flacco's throwing the ball like crazy. Then, then you can't load the box. But with the wind like this, he's not going to be able to do it. Like Doc Gotham says over a lock in every Bengals game. Look, if you want the over in this game, you're probably on the Bengals because the Steelers are going to slow this game down, and that's why it's dropping. It's windy.
And I have one thing I want to add before I forget, because this was one of my major points that I made yesterday or on Tuesday. This is the first time the Bengals are going to be on the road in over a month. They've had 3 consecutive home games and a bye week. Now they go on the road with almost no hope. I mean, no playoff hope, to be honest.
I don't know about that. I think there is hope. Joe Burrow's coming back, and he said some shit. I think there is hope. I'm not on the Bengals.
They got a gauntlet. They got an absolute gauntlet.
Yeah, we went through their schedule. It's horrifying.
Buffalo, Ravens, Patriots.
Buffalo, Ravens, Patriots.
I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow was like, guys, win this one, and I'll be back Thanksgiving, and we're a game out.
He said November 27th.
And keep in mind, we view the Bengals one way. I think the Bengals believe that they are a playoff team if they have their quarterback. So if Joe Burrow's like, yo, get me within a game, and I'll get us there. I don't know. They might rally around that. Regardless, where I'm going with all this is the most disgusting thing. I think you go under here. I think you go under here at 49.5. I think the Steelers defense is going to play well. And on the other side, I've been saying this. I don't think Pittsburgh's offense is good, and especially if it's going to be windy. Look, the Bengals defense is terrible, but the Steelers are going to be in control of this game. Probably going to see them running the ball because it's a game where they can run the ball. If it's 16 mile an hour winds, I don't know how much we'll see Rodgers just throwing the ball 40 yards downfield. should be slow, methodical drives as far as Pittsburgh. Maybe some missed field goals here. Yeah, this is a super high number, and I know everybody on the planet thinks they're going to see a 44-41 shootout. I think if I was to take a shot on this one, I would go under 49.5. That's how I was
think
thinking.
that's sharp, man. I think
So much so that I think I might bet it.
Yeah,
I'm going to sit with it for a little longer. But to me,
I'll do
especially with the optics, when I hear people say, "Oh, it's a lock, whatever," but when we look at the situation with the heavy winds, Tomlin has seen this offense exploit him and abuse him already on the road, and now he comes back home where they just held the Colts to 20 points. It's appealing. I like the look.
I just added it. I will edit it to my notes as in I think I might take a shot on it.
I'm definitely going to be. That's one of the ways I'm going to be doubling down is on this under, because the under, like Jimmy said, is so highly correlated with the Steelers.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals play their first decent defensive game in a while, by the way. I know
without Trey Hendrickson, though.
I know it's terrible, but I think the Steelers' offense is bad. Like, I think it's real bad. But I mean,
they can't stretch defenses. Rodgers can't throw deep. It's and then their running game, it's not suitable. Like, Jaylen Warren isn't someone who plays smash mouth football, punches you in the face.
Right.
I think the under is very appealing, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'll add it. Let's do it. Let's grab a group one. I'm down with the under. On the other, for the record, put a gun to my head and force me to bet aside, I probably would be Steelers if you can get a 4 at some point. So I don't disagree with you guys. Dude, it doesn't get much better than this. Seattle against the Rams. True or false? This is better than Chiefs Bills. Like, I think this is better than Chiefs Bills last week or 2 weeks ago. This is awesome. In my opinion, you guys picked the toughest game on the board, though, in terms of finding an edge. Because I'll just put my pick up first. I think you forced me to do. I think 3's about perfect, to be honest. You forced me to do something. I'd probably go Rams and under. But I'll put under up. You know what? I'll put Rams up. Rams and under is probably what I would do. But I'm all ears because I honestly think 3's about perfect for this game.
I have futures from the beginning of the year on the Rams in every way. Conference, Super Bowl 20-1, over their win total, division. I hammered them. And everything looked perfect until the Seattle Seahawks came along. And the Seahawks, as Troy will point out, and I let him hammer the point of strength of schedule, they haven't played they haven't really been tested. And that game against the Texans was appalling. They did not look like a championship caliber team against the Texans. But unfortunately, you can't have 3 teams in one conference, futures on 3 teams in one conference. And I got a little carried away by Baker Mayfield maybe 5 or 6 weeks into the season and moved on futures on the Buccaneers. So I can't add the Seahawks, but I'm very, very concerned about this Seattle Seahawks team. Everything is coming together for them. Jackson Smith-Njigba looks like the best wide receiver in the NFL. Sam Darnold is only doing what is necessary. I mean, they just put up 44 points and he threw 12 passes, 10 of 12 for 178 yards. The defense looks incredible, and that's without Julian Love and Jaron Reed, who are on IR. Now, they have lost Jalen Sundell to a knee injury, their center. And that's going to hurt them badly because these 2 defenses are spectacular. And the best defense on the field is the Rams defense. 3rd-ranked pass defense, 2nd-ranked rush defense, 2nd-ranked red zone defense, 2nd-ranked 3rd down defense, 8th-ranked pass rush. It is phenomenal. Now, I believe that the 2 defenses on the field are going to be playing at the highest caliber of football that we can see and make it difficult for these high-flying offenses. So I'm on the full game under 48.5. I'm on the first half under 24.5. We know both teams really want to utilize long drives. They're both more than capable of it. In fact, you would say that the Seattle Seahawks are more capable than the Rams because of their ability with Charbonnet and Walker to keep hammering you. Not that Kyron Williams and Corum are not good. They're good, but they're not on the level of Charbonnet and Walker. I'm also on the Rams, and I got a bad number. Troy got in early. He got the 2.5 at a decent price, -118. I had to settle for the -3 at -110. So I'm on the Rams. I'm on the first half under.
What number did you get the first half under at?
I got the first half under 24.5 at -120. The sharper books, sharper offshores that I use, they don't all come out with first half lines. Early. Penny doesn't. So I have to use sometimes public books, and I have to take risks on the first half. But I got the first half under 24.5, -120. I got the full game under 48.5, -110, and I got the Rams -3 at -110.
All right, so we're kind of on the same page then, because I was thinking Rams and under. Not a game that I have anything on, though. Troy, he alluded to you getting that 2.5.
Yep. I took the Rams 2.5, and really it all started with the strength of schedule. I thought this would be a difficult game. I backed the Seahawks all season long on an individual weekly basis, and the disparity in the strength of schedule to me is glaring. So they beat Arizona 44-22, but with the 2 early fumbles for touchdowns, the noise adjusted score was 25-22. Same thing with the Commanders, 30-point, whatever it was, blowout win. Noise cancel score was under a touchdown. They beat the Texans by 8, but the noise cancel score, they lost that game. And if you go back and watch these games, you see these massive swings, these splash plays, the turnovers, the block punts for touchdowns. It definitely makes things easy on a quarterback that's kind of riding the high road right now. Hasn't really been punched in the mouth. And actually, the only team that's really punched his team in the mouth was Baker Mayfield on the road, early in the season. And it's not the same defense. I mean, they were kind of injured that game. They had a lot of guys out. I don't want to say a lot of guys, but they had some guys out. But I just think that they've kind of had an easy path, especially with the splash plays that they've been able to make. So I talk about Sam Darnold being slapped in the face, for lack of a better term. Who's he seen that's like this Rams defense that played too high shell, great pass rush, good defensive scheme? It's the Texans. And if you look at his numbers in that game, completion rate 55%, 71% is his average. 3 less yards per attempt than his average. He had 1 pick, 1 touchdown. His numbers were, he was 2 for 14 on third down. When you take their ability to run the ball away, you're going to limit the play action because you're getting, obviously you're not going to trick anybody with play action on 3rd and 8. So I like the Rams. I think the Rams are going to be the toughest team this team has seen. McVay pioneered and introduced new offensive schemes to the NFL. He's one of the best. Shula is from the Fangio branch. I think he deploys the best conceptual defense. I got to back the Rams. I believe in this Rams team, so I'm taking them -2.5. It's a tough spot, though.
Yeah. I have a lot of similar notes, and I even put a graphic up here because you mentioned the Texans. So the Rams pass rush actually first in the NFL in time to pressure, first. So this is arguably one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. What other elite pass rushes have Sam Darnold seen? Oh, I don't know, maybe just the only 2 bad games of the season in terms of pass rating against the Steelers and against the Texans. An 81-8 pass rating in those 2 games against the only 2 pass rushes that are comparable to the Rams. So it's a quarterback that hasn't been under a ton of pressure. Now, Sam Darnold has silenced a lot of criticism. He's been excellent. So by no means am I saying that, Darnold's going to suck or anything. I'm just saying we have seen elite pass rushers give him problems so far this year. But on the other side of the ball, Troy mentioned the Seahawks defense not being tested, and I couldn't agree more. So first, I want to say, in terms of the defensive front, I'm a buyer. That is, I think it's as good as advertised. I don't think anyone's running the ball, including the Rams, on this defensive front. The pass rush is great. Not criticizing the defensive front 7 at all. In terms of the secondary, who is tested? Like, are we sure the Seahawks secondary is good? Like, are we sure? Are we really sure? Who have they seen? What quarterbacks have they seen? Like, Brock Purdy actually had a pretty efficient day and beat him in the opener. And then the only other quarterback they've seen that gives you any sort of threat is Baker, who ripped them to shreds. Baker actually ripped this team to shreds in Seattle. 379 yards, a 134.7 passer rating. So, I mean, this team has played a lot of not great quarterbacks. I mean, Arizona, the Saints, the Jags, the Texans, and no offense to Stroud, but he's not the best this year. They played Mariota. They played Arizona again. This team has played a lot of bad quarterbacks. So I'm not sure if I think this Seattle secondary is very good. Now, again, I think 3 is kind of right. In fact, a juice 3 towards the Rams, I think, is about the perfect price. So I don't have anything on the game because I think it's priced appropriately. if there's ever a 2.5, I'd probably be down to do it with the Rams, though.
Yeah, I'm right with you guys. Lockstep, man. And I can understand, cappers in the chat who have seen the point. So again, I love the optics so much. So the Rams come off a 68-point football game. The Seahawks come off a 66-point football game. 80% of the tickets, 82% of the cash is on the over. All anybody's seen from these teams is points.
And what do the Rams do when they get the lead? They sit milk
ball.
and milk and milk. And then what happens with Sam Darnold? He gets hit. He has to drop back and pass and can't sit there, run the ball, and play action. Like if they fall behind, the under's just the Rams and the under again are probably very highly correlated.
Let's move on to the next one, which I did end up taking. It's one of those like what's a good term? Like close your eyes and just do it. I'm on the +7.5. Ugh. Yeah.
This game is heaven.
All right, take it away because I was not going to describe it with the word heaven.
It's heaven. This is everything I want. This is these were only and Troy is a different angle than me as well. This is the only bets that I came to our show with. I'd already hammered, and the line didn't make sense to me at the time. The total had gone down, and then it climbed back up, and I got an under 41.5, and then the first half under 20.5. Now it looks like the wind won't be as bad in Cleveland as they thought. It was 23 mile per hour winds on Tuesday. Now it's down to about 19.
It's a lot.
But it's a lot, and it's going to be raining, and the Cleveland Browns, I just want to be, just all I want to see is horrifyingly violent hits. I want the game to move so slowly. I want 10 yards to be the most difficult thing to possibly achieve every time you get the ball. And the Ravens rush attack has changed. We're carved back, so they're getting blocking for them. Everything has changed. Now everything has really changed defensively. And Troy and I, hammered it home. What happened, the difference between this team when the Harbaugh brothers made their trade and Owe went to the Chargers, fortified their pass rush that had been abysmal. And then Gilman came over to the Ravens and allowed Hamilton to be a monster. And so not this show, but last week's show, I spent 5 minutes breaking down all the different things that Hamilton's doing now that Gilman is on this team, and he can be utilized like the weapon that he is. But for the under, the Browns have the best rush defense in the NFL. They're going to not be an easy team to move the ball against. It's windy. This total's dropped down to 39 now, but this was 41.5 at 3:00 on Tuesday, and it's heaven. Now, the side that you guys are on, I'm looking forward to hear Troy hammer it again because he made it very appealing. It's on so I have 17 bets that I've made, and I have, a list of bets that I'm very interested in. And I'd like to hear Troy sell it to me one more time. And hear that you've already intimated that you're on it, Kyle. And
I actually did not know Troy was on it until you said the side you guys are on. So I guess we're on the same side.
Yeah, I doubled up. I bet the first half and the full game. And the reason I did that is because there's this narrative with Lamar Jackson in the first half. Historically, it's just been ridiculous ATS, especially as a favorite. Now, usually it's a smaller favorite than this, but at the same time, that narrative has given us a blessing of a price. I was able to build a 6 today. So I got 5.5 and 6.5, and it juiced out to -120. I think that's an incredible bet. And I got full game 8.5. First of all, the market environment in divisional games with low totals like we're looking at today is just extremely bullish for the home dog. Even on the money line, over the past 3 years, it's been a profitable play. And everyone knows my feeling. If you've been listening to me at all about this Ravens team, I have futures on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, and I've been backing them the last 3 weeks with max bets with 5%. And I'm very happy. And I've actually took a bath with this Browns team 2 weeks in a row against the Jets and the Patriots. So I'm going back to the well. The database pointed me in the right direction right away. But when you start, getting under the hood, I like what I see. Obviously, the Ravens want to run the football. Cleveland has a great run defense. And Lamar Jackson is probably the biggest piece of this for me, because if you watch Lamar Jackson play, He's definitely not. I don't know how to explain it. Like, he's definitely playing conservative. He's not the Lamar Jackson that I remember watching. You know, breaking the pocket, throwing the ball downfield, making big explosive runs. It's like it just feels a lot different. And I think that the Browns have a perfect personnel set to deal with them. I know Lamar Jackson's great against man coverage. That's the one thing I will say. He's been great against man coverage. But then again, like, this is a Browns man coverage with an elite pass rush and two great quarterback spy options with Bush and Schlesinger. So, yeah, I think the Browns match up good on defense. And then obviously offensively, the Ravens have been much better. We've talked about it, Kyle Hamilton, and the two young guys, Malachi Starks and Nate Wiggins. You know, we've hit that defense on the screws, and that's why we've been cashing with them. But if there's one thing, I mean, they've kind of allowed some yards in the running game against the Vikings, the Dolphins, and the Bears. I mean, I could see Cleveland getting 3.8 to 4.5 yards per carry. I mean, how many scores are we going to need to cover this spread? Because I don't think this Ravens team is going to have too many opportunities with the Browns run D. I think they're just going to try to win and get out. This game is going to be a closely contested game. I like the Browns a lot in this situation.
Yeah, I agree. And weather.com is currently showing 24 mile an hour winds all day and night Sunday.
Music to my ears.
Which is, for those of you unfamiliar with wind, it's a shitload of wind. Very windy day in Cleveland. But yeah, Troy said it. So the Ravens look quote unquote back, right? Why? Patrick Ricard came back. They started running the ball. Last 4 games, 4.9 yards per carry. Excellent. Ravens are running the ball again. They're starting to resemble the old Ravens. Here's the problem. Nobody runs the ball in Cleveland. Check this out. That's week 2 in Baltimore. 2.7 yards per carry. That's not a typo. It's 2.7. The Ravens are held to 49 yards rushing. Now, they won the game 41-17 or whatever. In that game, that could not be a more deceiving final score. The Ravens were gifted the ball inside the 10. They had a block punt touchdown and a fumble return touchdown. They were not running the ball. They could not run the ball on Cleveland in week 2, and that was at home in Baltimore. Now they're going on the road to Cleveland, 24 mile an hour winds. Yeah, I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to run the ball in this game. This is the best run defense in the NFL. And on the other side of the ball, look, the Ravens defense is playing great, and the Browns have the worst offense in the NFL. I'm not going to debate any of that. But what I like about this Ravens defense is all those playmakers in the secondary, man. Like, you can't go sideline to sideline on them. You're not going to break big play. They're just too good in the secondary. Man, Browns are just going to hand it off in a cloud of smoke 3 yards out the middle. It's going to be a downhill, conservative-ass, simple-ass game plan to the point where, like, some of those playmakers in the secondary aren't even going to be involved in the game because they're just going to hand the ball off. This is going to be the most boring offensive game plan ever where guys like Gilman or Hamilton in the back, like, come on, can we play? Like, this is so boring. I think the way the Browns are going to call this game, it's going to be so boring. And by no means am I suggesting it's going to be suggesting it's going to be effective, but I think it's just going to take the strength of the Ravens defense away, which is all those playmakers in the secondary. I think the Cleveland's happy to play in this nasty weather, hand the ball off 3 times and punt. Like, go ahead, Baltimore. Let's go 3 handoffs and punt for punt in this game and see who comes out on top in the nastiness. So yeah,
I love it.
I took the I'm on it. Baltimore is also 1-3 in their last 4 trips to Cleveland. That's not just against the spread either. 1-3 outright. Although Lamar Jackson missed 2 of those 4 games.
Let me hit the Gilman change here just quickly. So they were allowing 35 points a game before Gilman became a Raven. They're allowing 15 now. And to understand it completely, it was that before Gilman came over, Hamilton spent over 70% of his snaps playing safety. So he's off the line of scrimmage, in the middle of the field, playing in space. He was only in the box 17.4% of his snaps. That should never be the plan with Kyle Hamilton. You can't exploit and destroy the point of attack if you're playing in space. So now he's lining up in the safety. He's leaving the safety position. So in the last 3 weeks, so this was before last week, he was playing 3.4 of his snaps, 3.4 in the safety position, 56.9% of his snaps in the box, and 36.2 at the slot corner. And everything has changed drastically. And that's what's keeping me off of the Browns at this point. And you even wrote in the chat, Troy, you wrote that there is a route for you losing. And I always, with all my bets, when I make a bet, I always write down how I'm going to lose this bet. It helps so much. It's better in football because you have days to absorb the information. But Troy, how do you lose this bet? You stated it in the chat.
Dylan Gabriel turns the ball over, or special teams touchdowns, I guess. But Dylan Gabriel, as long as he does not turn the ball over, this is going to be a 1-2 possession game max. So I feel like we're the right side. I feel like there's a lot of value on this bet. So
I could join you guys. It's on the list.
This happened to be my biggest hit of the year. Was Jameis Winston money line Cleveland over Baltimore too?
This the same market.
This
is the same exact market. Open between 8.5 and 9. It's closed at 7, like 7.25 last time.
The amount of comments that were deleted off that video after the Browns won, it was like record-breaking amount of the amount. Because first of all, I said, not only did I say I like the Browns, I believe I said it was one of my favorite bets of the week. So the comments were going nuts for me clicking Jameis Winston. I took the money line too. And the amount of comments that were deleted was a nice one. Now we get to where I believe you guys are wrong.
Oh no.
Chiefs Broncos.
So who's kicking off the Broncos side? Broncos gets last laugh, huh?
I'm at home. I bet last.
All right,
Jimmy, go ahead.
Troy, you got it. This one.
All right. Yeah, because I want to fade the Chiefs around every corner, every game, every possibility I possibly get. But I feel like I've been talking about this Broncos team and wanting to fade them for weeks. Just because, like I start all the time, the strength of schedule. I've really been attacking the strength of schedule as I perceive it. So, I mean, they were lucky to beat the Raiders with a few special teams play, missed field goals. The Texans by 3. CJ Stroud goes out in the first quarter. Smacked the Cowboys in a terrible spot. I was maxing out on the Broncos in that spot. Public were buying Cowboys hype off a primetime win. The Giants by 1, miracle 30-point comeback. Jets by 2, and just a pitiful performance. They could have beat them by 20 easy. The Eagles were the last one on the list, right? They were up down 14 in the fourth quarter, and now they're 8-2 at the top of the division against Big Brother. And I look at Spagnuolo on one side, and I look at Bo Nix on the other side, and I feel bad for the kid because if there's one thing that I believe Bo Nix struggles with, it's man coverage, and it is single high safety. And Spagnuolo's, that's pretty much all of his defensive principles revolve around man-to-man and single high and high pressure rates. So I believe Bo Nix will struggle mightily in this game. And it's easy to defend the Broncos. Like I made the case for the Raiders defense last week. It was, you take away the run, you force Bo Nix to pass the ball in uncomfortable situations. He can't beat you. And I don't think he has a lot of weapons to really lean on in this case. So I don't want to back the Chiefs. I think the 3.5 is a very strong number. I feel like you're going to see a lot of models and a lot of people, I feel like the public as well will be on this, on the Broncos side. Now, I don't think that's the case currently on Wednesday at, almost midnight, but I'm on the Chiefs minus 3.5 and the Chiefs double results. I think Spagnuolo gives me the most confidence in this side over Bo Nix.
Jimmy, so is this his pick or you agree?
No, I hammered it too. What I do with these 3.5s or 4s that I'm confident in is I pay for the 3. So I got the -3 at -129, and then I double down on the double result, which I got at +120. So that's how I'm hammering this. The Broncos, you can say we're looking ahead.
True.
Looking ahead of the Chiefs, sure. I mean, I don't really know why they would need to do that when they have 10 days to prepare. But and I don't want to get too caught up in how awful this offense looked against the very weak Raiders defense. I don't need to believe what I saw, and I am very good at not believing what I see in sports and just putting a line through it. So we don't need the 3.9 yards per play, more penalties than first downs, 7 3-and-outs and 13 possessions. I'm trying my hardest not to focus on it at all. What I want to focus on is how the Chiefs are changing, and we see it often after the bye. And we know what Andy Reid's record off the bye is. He was 13-1 in Philadelphia, 9-3 in Kansas City, 22-4 overall. If the season ended right now, the Chiefs are not in the playoffs. And so I love that angle so much that now they're looking up at both the Chargers and the Broncos, and the Broncos 8-2 are on top of the league. What do the Chiefs have that's going to change from what everybody's seeing? Well, first off, Josh Simmons is back, their first-round draft pick. We see the difference in the Chargers offense when Joe Alt, a first-round draft pick, is in the lineup and when he's not in the lineup. And it's drastic. So you have Josh Simmons out. Then who needed the bye more than anybody else was Trey Smith. This guy's just beaten up. So Trey Smith is back and Josh Simmons is back. You have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy healthy. You have an issue that Mike Pennell back, but you did lose Norman Lott to a season-ending knee injury, which is a problem. This is, to me, a chance to back a team that's much better than what everybody has seen. And look, I'm a little uncomfortable with how bad the Broncos looked. I would rather be fading the Broncos if they had beaten the Raiders 30-10. But I can't believe this opportunity to back the Chiefs off of a bye, healthy, with their fortified offensive line, which we haven't seen in 5 weeks. And supposedly what Simmons was dealing with was bothering him early in the year, and now he's just completely ready to go. I think this is going to be a classic, comfortable, off the bye Chiefs victory against the number one team in the division and the team on top of the league at 8-2.
All right, so I disagree with everything. First of all, the Chiefs may win off a bye. They often don't cover. They're 2-3 ATS in their last 5, coming off the bye. They're 0-4 ATS their last 4 trips to Denver. But who cares about spreads? Who cares about trends? I don't understand in what world the Chiefs are laying more than a field goal in this game. That's more than they laid to Jacksonville. When's the last time the Chiefs played a good road game? When's the last time Mahomes played a good road game? When is that?
He hasn't played one.
Not
second half of seasons.
He hasn't played. They haven't played a good road game all season. In fact, they've only won one road game all year. Copy and paste everything I said about the Bills and paste it here. This line is an overreaction to the Chiefs playing a cupcake schedule. I think they're going into an environment where they often don't cover. They haven't covered here in over 5 years. They're going to lose the battle on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, even with the healthy offensive line. The Chiefs have gotten run on in every single road game. Denver's been running the ball 4.7 yards per carry. Oh, I'm sorry. That's their defense. I don't Mahomes doesn't play one good road game. I don't know how this is above a field goal.
Yeah, that's why I love it. That's kind of the main reason why I love it, because I feel like the book's offering that 3.5, man. The 3.5 has been a massive failure over the past
think everyone's betting Kansas City. I'm the only person I've heard on Denver.
No, I agree. But I feel like if I had a model bill, I don't know.
Every single person watched the Raiders game and is saying the same thing. Denver's not as good as their record. Take the Chiefs. Every single person. When it's like, what the hell is it was just a couple weeks ago where Denver blew the Cowboys out. And I mean, the Chiefs haven't won a road game in 2 months? It's like, it's been really long. I mean, the Giants is their only road win of the season, and we're laying more than a field goal against an 8-2 team that, granted, doesn't look great at all, but we're laying more than a field goal in what's going to be the biggest game we've seen a Mile High in a decade. That place is going to be a circus. They're going to be going bananas in that place.
They're going to go home with their tail between their legs.
It's the biggest game in that stadium has seen in a literal decade. I don't know if Mile High will ever be up for more for a game more than this one right here. Yeah.
The defense. I don't even like. I think the defense will play just fine for the Broncos. It really comes down to the Broncos not being able to run the football. If you take that away.
But every single team has run the ball on the Chiefs on the road. The Giants ran the ball on them. Jacksonville ran the ball on them. The Bills. They haven't stopped the run. Yeah, Scatterboo had like 5 yards of carry in that game. They haven't stopped the run once on the road yet.
For carrying the 13-yard long. That's a great game. Yeah, I mean, I know you can make the case. You could absolutely make the case for the Broncos in this. You can make a case for every side in one way or the other.
I think this should be 3. I'm even on board with the Broncos are overvalued and the Chiefs should be favored. I'm on board with all of that. I think the number should be a strong 2.5, 3. I got a 4. I think that's a gift.
I mean, but that's that whole 3.5, 4 is, part of Troy's database and part of what brings him so much confidence. The years, I imagine, the over the last couple of years when you've been fading the Chiefs in Denver, you've been selling them high. And now you're selling them 5-4 out of the playoffs, low. And they know that. It's just, this is not a team that's 9-1 that's going into Denver. And that is the angle that I really kind of sunk my teeth into. And that's why the fact that it's over a field goal and this team is 5-4, I think that this offensive line is going to look far different than what we've seen. And I've had, friends and colleagues tell me how great this Broncos defense is. And, this pass defense was ranked 19th with Surtain in the lineup. It went down. The ranking got better just because they played the Texans with Davis Mills at quarterback. I think that the Broncos can be thrown on, and that they will be.
Sorry.
Oh no, but I love your side.
Yeah,
I love that you're on the Broncos.
Case.
Your cap. There's no holes. I'm not gonna there's no holes in your cap. I respect it. I get it. I understand it. For me, I do believe that the Chiefs are better than what we've seen, and we'll see that because we see what the Chargers look like with Joe Alt. You can say that Josh Simmons isn't as good as Joe Alt, but they're both very high first-round picks on the offensive line that can change the game. And then you add Trey Smith. I just think that the stats aren't doing the Chiefs justice. So anytime you put what the Chiefs have done this year into a model, it would tell you, oh, God, you have to take the Broncos.
Well, what I'm wondering is what has changed since the Jacksonville game on Monday Night Football? Because that line closed at 3. The Chiefs were 3-point favorites in Jacksonville. So I don't know. I don't know how they're more favored against a significantly better team.
Oh, I think the bye week is so important this time of year. You want a bye week later in the season. And then, going out on the road when Mahomes doesn't have time to breathe is very difficult. And you bring back your arguably best two offensive linemen. I've been watching the Chargers games, studying their offensive line for hours every time they play. The reason why we backed the Chargers against the Steelers was because, for me, I was late because they weren't starting Trevor Penning. They traded for him. They had Deculus back healthy, and now they had a full offensive line. Now, yes, Alt wasn't in it, but then they had two backups that were going to be able to, give the big guys a rest at one point during the game. And I knew that their offensive line was going to be strong and sturdy without Alt in the lineup. Here, I believe the same thing. I think that the statistics do not do the Chiefs justice, and everybody will see what this offense looks like when Mahomes has a chance to breathe. Despite this so-called incredible Broncos pass rush, they can exploit that secondary, and it's over a field goal for a reason. And another thing is that I want things to be expensive, and I know that's the opposite of how you work. You think that you would prefer to have, if you wanted the Chiefs, you'd want them at -2 or -2.5. I want the books to say this is really expensive. You probably don't want it.
I think it closes at 3, like the Jacksonville game did. We'll see, though.
We'll see.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be fun.
All right. Let's move on to Detroit, Philly. I think this is my largest bet of the weekend.
Me too.
And we're all on the same. I got 49.5, but we're all on the same page here.
Oh,
49.5.
As soon as it opened, I was like, "Yup." Yeah, we're all on the under.
Yep, we're all on the under, and the history of the under in this market type on primetime is just a slam dunk. I mean, we watched what the Eagles defense just did, the reinforcements that they got with Jalen Phillips, and guys are getting healthier on the defense. They got 2 Georgia Bulldogs in the middle of this defensive line and a Jomo, 3 guys that could rush you from the interior, and 2 guys that are complementary pass rushers off the edge with Hunt and Jalen Phillips. The pass rush is elite. Quinyon Mitchell, top 3 cornerback in the NFL, in my opinion. I feel like I've been saying that since before his ascension. You got him on the outside. You got Dijon on the slot. So you want to move your best receiver into the slot. Have fun with Dijon. The linebacker group, probably the best linebacker core in the NFL. If not number one, number 2 or 3. And Kobe Dean, I mean, this defense, I just can't talk enough about them. This is why I had futures last year. I don't know the last time I've even faded this Eagles team. And the offense, this is a perfect offense that you want in this situation. A team that I think is going to be leading in this game, and an offense that's going to do exactly what you want when you want to play unders. They're going to play slow, methodical. They're going to hand the ball off a ton of times. They're going to avoid this Lions pass rush. And then on the other side, you got the Lions offense who are going to try to do the same, because you're not going to want Jared Goff dropping back versus a too high shell where he's been significantly worse throughout his career. And we know that's all you're going to get out of Fangio, and that shit's going to be frozen, disguised every single time, even when they're playing man coverage. I feel like Goff is going to be under pressure. His numbers, he has the widest splits out of any NFL quarterback between when he's kept clean versus when he's under pressure. So you got too high, a quarterback that I think they're going to be able to pressure with 4. Can they stop the run? And I think the answer is yes. And I don't think it's going to be, I mean, maybe you look at the box score at the end of the day, the Lions run it for 4.5 yards per carry. But the best part about this Eagles defensive front is they're going to have those splash defensive plays where they get you 4 yards in the backfield, plenty of TFL opportunities. So also, one of the biggest things about this game, I mean, Philly's going to drag this team down in the mud, in my opinion. And if you look at seconds per play, Lions are 30th, Eagles are 31st. And even like some of these games where the Lions have played, high elite caliber defenses, the Browns and the Packers, the noise adjusted scores in those games were 19-9 and 24-15. They only had 4.9 yards per play and 3.88 yards per play. I love the under in this game. I bet the Eagles. I bet the full game under 47. You got that 49.5. That's 2 key numbers, 48 and 49. And I got the Lions team total under 22.5 in this game.
Yeah, I agree more. I couldn't agree more. And what you said about Detroit was perfect, about how you talked about them against tough defenses. We've seen a clear pattern here. Dan Campbell in these home games, when they're heavy favorites, yeah, they'll speed it up a little bit. They'll run up the score. But what they do when they're on the road in Baltimore? They ran the slowest paced football game ever. They were standing there. Goff was standing there looking at the play clock, waiting for it to go down to 5 to start the snap count. They made it a point to move as slowly as possible in these tough road environments. It's clear Campbell wants to control the clock, and they're playing the kings of controlling the clock in the Eagles. The 31st paced team in the Philadelphia Eagles, first in rushing frequency. This is literally just going to be the slowest football game in the history of football games. Both teams trying to establish the run. Both should struggle to do so. I knew I was betting the under before that. I was just sitting there waiting for that under. So yeah, I'm on the under. I think it should be down closer to like 44.5. So yeah,
man, it's funny too, Kyle, because as this is the last game on the slate. So I'm going through all the games, and I finally get to this damn game, and right away I'm making the case. I'm building the profile for the game, and I'm like, this is under all the way. I go and look at the line. It dropped from 48.5 to 48. I'm like, okay, I got time. I go back and I finish my handicap, and I'm like, I go back to make the bet. It's 47. It dropped a full 1.5 in a matter of 30 minutes on Tuesday.
I actually just checked. I bet the look ahead on this before last Sunday. That's why I have a 49. I'm looking at my open bets. I'm like 49.5. Yeah, I bet it before last week's game. I bet the look ahead. That's how I have 49.5.
Smart.
But yeah, I'd still hit it at 47. What is it at now? 40. It's getting down there.
It's moving quick.
Jim, you're with us, right?
Oh, I'm with you guys, lockstep. But one thing I did, and it's really helped my ROI, is that every total I bet now is a 2-unit bet. I take the first half and the full game. And what that's done is I need to have real conviction about totals. I think I like unders. I like betting totals. I think I got a little willy-nilly, a little sloppy. Changing it to 2-unit bets has helped in every way. And also the hijinks and things that can happen late in the game. You still have already cashed that first half. The thing about the love, and you guys nailed it, but the only thing that I would add is that this isn't last year's Detroit Lions. 11th ranked passing offense, 17th ranked rushing offense, 21st ranked third down offense. This is a football team that's predicated on their defense. 5th ranked pass defense, 6th ranked rush defense, 4th ranked pass rush, 7th ranked third down defense. It's different. And now you have I'm so excited to watch Dan Campbell call another game. As you know, it's easy to beat up on the Commanders. Doesn't matter if you're in Washington or where you are. The team is not good. Now we have Dan Campbell calling the plays, against the very tough Eagles defense. I'm so interested to see what he does. And I think you guys, the pace of play and all those things you nailed, I'm right lockstep. And I'm very jealous of the number you got. The only thing that will maybe stop me from being so jealous is if it drops to 45.5 or 45, I can feel a little better. But I'm right with you guys. First half under, full game under. And but Troy took the full game under, and he took Lions team total under.
Right.
It's his double down.
And
I'm pumped up, man. It's gonna be. We have. I'm really interested in the Monday night or two. I think we have the Sunday night, Monday night, and now with the over on the Thursday night, these high-profile standalone games are going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. Where can they find your episode where you go through the whole slate?
Oh man, we're at Pub Sports Radio every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and as the winning has gone up, this is our third season together, and we're now crossing the 70 unit mark, and mostly because of Troy, but it's the more winning that we're doing has equated to longer breakdowns. I don't want to stop capping. I want to cap and cap and cap and cap. So they're 4-hour long shows, which not everybody likes. So yeah, we're at Pub Sports Radio. We also do the live streams every Thursday, Sunday, Monday, and we open up an hour before the game, and Troy and I open it up. And then I have Betting with the Bag Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at noon daily. And we love being here with you guys. So Kyle, thank you so much for having us. I know Troy and I look forward to being here each week. And so to all of everybody in the chat supporting the Sauce Network, thank you for having us. Go get that cash.
Yeah.
Get this money.
Let's have a good weekend. And that's
boys.
Pub Sports Radio. Just type it into the YouTube search and it'll come right up. It's called Bankroll Blitz. Is their show where they go through the whole slate. So, all right, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Let's talk some college basketball. And Toast picked a Mississippi Valley Hawaii game for us. Oh, this game just started, didn't it? Oh, Trevor picked this? Oh, does he? Oh, did he want to come on? Trevor wanted to come on?
I thought they both were going to come on.
I sent Spoon an invite. I figured Trevor wouldn't come on this late. I'll send him an invite right now. I didn't know.
Yeah, he said, I'll be up, assuming you mean 12:30 Eastern. And I said, yes, Trevor.
Well, yeah, we went longer than expected.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't even put that into perspective. Touche.
Well, do you not?
He just tagged me in a tweet, though, like 15 minutes ago, rubbing his face in a winner. So I think he might be.
He tagged me talking shit about a play that I sarcastically picked to troll him. I don't UNC Greensboro. I don't even know who that is. And he's like,
speaking of,
he called me a fake sharp.
Speaking of all-time troll jobs, Kenny Varner, I love you, but just leave me alone, buddy. I picked against your Grizz one time. They made me look like a fool, and every 45 minutes you're letting me hear about it with some other random fact. Okay, I get it, buddy. I'm sorry. I screwed up.
I didn't pick against the Grizz, and he still is letting me hear it. We got TV Jones in the building. I didn't think you would be down to come this late, Trev. Well, we only got 4 games, so it'll only take a minute. We're not going to. And you got a bonus,
Trevor.
game?
You got to remember, he makes the graphics before the show. So when he says, okay.
Yeah. All right, and TV Jones.
I have the team total under for this Mississippi Valley game, so it's.
That's what I people in the Discord asked me. That's what I said too.
Yeah,
but this game started, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it did. I thought we might be on a little earlier.
Yeah, I ran late. All right, let's go on to the next one. Whoa. The backyard brawl? Is this a backyard brawl for basketball?
We actually have two back-to-back really good games right here. I don't know what side Trevor's on. I'm really curious, so he can go
I'd like to know what side Moneyline Mac's on.
Probably not the same.
I can already tell you, and it's I can tell you it's probably West Virginia. It's going to be West Virginia, but he hasn't bet West Virginia at all. He said he's not laying double digits with them. So
it's only 5. Is it double digits?
Yeah.
Yo, what?
Yeah. No. He said, but like earlier in the season, like their other games, they were laying like 19 and a half, whatever the hell. He didn't bet them at all. No, I got 5.5 with West Virginia. We've seen these home teams. I texted you, Toast, about it. I mean, Illinois,
And I said you're wrong.
UNC. No, I'm not. UNC, Gonzaga, all these home teams, minus UCF, who is going to be a basement dweller in the Big 12.
Fair.
And St. John's lost at the Garden. So, I mean, is that technically a home game? I consider it one.
It is.
I considered it one. So, I mean, other than that, all these home teams are covering. The atmospheres are crazy. Hodges, this defense is going to be ramped up. It's going to be ready to go. This is going to be a big statement win to start his career. And I think they have the better team than Pitt. I laid it with West Virginia here. I'm back in Morgantown in this building to get up and get loud and have the atmosphere absolutely crazy. You don't lose home games. I know 5 is a bigger number, 5.5, but West Virginia's they've got the defense to slow Pitt down. Finally, they've been struggling with that for years. So
here's the
West
thing.
Virginia, big home game.
Here's the thing, though. These two teams, they don't play in the same basketball conference, right?
No.
Okay. So I knew they don't play in the same football conference. I didn't know if yeah. Okay, that's the same conference as they play in football. So if Pitt loses this game, they're going to have to deal with Mountaineer fans all year. West Virginia already upset them. Pitt upsets them here.
I haven't taken it yet. There's 6s on the boards. I'm going to wait to see if this line continues to go up. I agree with Trevor that West Virginia is probably going to end up being a better team than Pitt, because I also think that Ross Hodge is a very, very good coach. There's no denying that. I just feel like these teams right now are a lot more equal. And regardless of what you think of Jeff Capel, I do think that he's not a significantly worse coach than Ross Hodge. I think especially with being here in Pitt for a few years, I think they're going to be all right here. I think these teams are very, very similar. They both want to walk the ball up and down the floor. The big key issue for me is, can Pittsburgh stop turning the ball over, and can they continue to hit the 3 ball? Because if they can just be somewhat decent from 3 range, I think they stay in this game. The total of this game is like short 130s or like 133 or something like that. I think that we see a low scoring game. I agree that West Virginia probably wins this game, but I'm hoping to get a 6.5. I'll bet the 6 if they start to come down, but there's a 6 on Caesars right now. I just don't feel like this game should be 2 possessions. If this was 2.5, 3, that makes a lot more sense to me. But I think that these teams are a lot more even than the point spread is telling us.
All right. Trevor on his own little Mountaineer Island. We got another banger. Purdue, Alabama. Is this in Tuscaloosa?
Yep.
Wow, this is freaking awesome.
Home.
Oh, they're playing twice?
Well, they played at Purdue last year, and Purdue won.
So Purdue wins again?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I am on Purdue. Trevor is on Alabama.
Wow.
I'll just go first. I was on Alabama against St. John's. Nobody believed with me. I still think that Alabama is a very, very good team. There's no question about that. My issue is I don't think that St. John's is very good personally. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. I've said it in the past. I'm just not a big St. John's guy. I love Rick Pitino. I don't think that team's very good. So was it impressive that Alabama went up there and hung 100 on them in the Garden? Yes, that was very impressive. But I think that Purdue is the one team that can really give Alabama some struggle here, even at home. Let's not forget that Alabama is starting this gauntlet of a schedule where they play St. John's in Madison Square Garden, they play Purdue at home, then they play Illinois on a semi away, then they play Gonzaga. So this is like 2 weeks from hell for this Alabama team. So I don't think you're going to be able to get up for every single game, and I think this is a little bit of a come down spot after an absolute gem of a performance versus St. John's. Phelan has been absolutely amazing for this Alabama team. I think that he is one of the best guards in America. There is no question about that. He can hit the 3 ball. He can get to the rack. He can get to the line. He does everything. He is so fun to watch. You know who's just as good, if not better? Braden Smith.
Braden Smith.
And I think that really matters here. I think that if those two, I don't want to say they cancel each other out because I still think that Phylon's going to get his, but you add on the fact that Fletcher Lawyer is another guy that, I mean, he's 6'5". It's not like Purdue's some small team. Purdue's one of the biggest teams in the country, and I know that Alabama is one of the bigger teams as well, and I know that TKR hasn't played yet, but they're going to get TKR back. They said he was going to be there tonight, or said he's going to play. I just feel like Purdue has been kind of planning for this game the last couple of weeks. I know that Purdue didn't look fantastic against Oakland their last game at home. I think that was just a situation of a kind of a look ahead. I think that all their eggs are in the basket here against this Alabama team. I think that Purdue is just simply the better team, and you're giving me, I got Purdue plus 4.5. It just doesn't really make sense to me. So it would only be, I already bet Purdue plus 4.5.
Well, Trevor has never respected Braden Smith. He doesn't understand what good guard play is.
That's true.
Me and you were on money line with Purdue over Houston. What are you talking about?
That's right. We were. We were.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we got refed. Reffing is similar, is the exact same thing as getting umped. I will be saying.
It's a synonym to umping.
Yeah.
Yep, they're cousins.
Trevor reads it with thesaurus every day.
Yeah, you got to keep the mind stimulated.
Yeah.
I'll take Alabama minus. I laid 4. This is simple. This is a home game. Alabama lost to Purdue last year. I know Purdue retains guys, but you don't have Zach Edey. Oscar Clough is still figuring things out for this offense. Yes, Braden Smith is really good. Fletcher Lawyer had a dominant game. They were playing nobodies. Now you're going to go play a really tall, lengthy, physical, experienced, athletic Bama team on their floor, and you beat them last year, and it was a fairly tight game throughout the whole thing too. So I think Alabama back home. I think this is a high total for a reason. I think Alabama gets their style of play up and down, and is going to force some turnovers and make things a little bit difficult for Purdue. So I laid 4 with Bama. I put 2 units on it. Big play for me tomorrow.
A lot of Purdue hate in the comments. Hate to see it.
They've never watched Braden Smith play.
Clearly not.
Green Bay, led by their fearless head coach, against a good St. Thomas team. This is a tough matchup for Green Bay, Trevor.
Yeah, this is simple. St. Thomas minus 13. Don't even really need to handicap anything. It's Green Bay, and they're on the road. So I know it says they beat Ripon by 20. That's, I'm pretty sure, a D3 college by me here. And they were only up 8 like midway through the second half. So that score was dressed up. They did not look good. St. Thomas back home at the Shoenecker, coming off some tough losses. They're gonna get it absolutely rolling, and no better spot than with Doug Gottlieb and company in town to play them.
Toast, did you take a look at this one?
Yeah, it's I like St. Thomas, and I kind of like the over as well. I haven't decided which one I'm going to play, but I will give St. Thomas some credit. Played road games versus St. Mary's and Washington State, and whatever you want to think about Washington State, like we talked about going to that game, they had actually played a lot better than the first 2 games that than on paper than we give them credit for. So shot quality had them winning both those games. So I thought it was a bad spot for the Tommies, but now they're back home. I don't really love the travel spot because they did have to come all the way from Pullman, but regardless, like Trevor said, it's Green Bay, and I'm going to continue to fade them until I can't anymore. And I know it got really close with Buffalo, but you know what? They found a way to lose, and that's all that really matters because that's all this Green Bay team seems to do.
Someone said, "I'm tired."
And they shot lights out.
Someone said, "I'm tired of the Wisconsin love." Trevor, stop gambling with your heart. He took St. Thomas. He faded Green Bay.
Yeah, no.
Green Bay's the school. He took the other team.
Yeah, no. You'll know. I did lay it with Green Bay at home against Detroit last year, and I was at that game with 52 other people. It was great. It was amazing.
Yeah, but that was like the first game they were favored all year. You had to take.
Yep,
that.
and I was exactly. I was like,
I took Detroit Mercy as the dog. Trev, you said you had a bonus game, and then we'll talk college football.
Yeah, Alcorn is catching 6.5 at Howard. I laid it with Howard. Alcorn, this will be their 5th game since last Tuesday. So they've been traveling all over the damn country. And Howard has been home. They're coming off a loss. I think this is just a spot they just drill them. Alcorn's just they're running out of gas. They're collecting their paychecks, but at what cost? This team's going to be dead at some point. So I laid it with Howard. I think they just absolutely mess them up. big time tomorrow. And then Kansas State laid it at home. LSU
Yes.
laid it at home also.
I was going to say,
And
I'm on
Wichita.
Kansas State as well.
All right. We're going to talk some college football. Your show's over, Trev?
Yeah, no, we're done. I'm hitting the hay.
All right, cool. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. It is officially Wednesday. So we're here talking college football. We got Jay Sternberger and Kyle Hunter here as always. Personally, I had a great college football week. I had a great weekend, period. I had an awesome NFL weekend as well. How was your guys' weekend?
Really good weekend for me. That's been the best week I've had so far this year in the past week. So hopefully can keep it going.
Oh, yeah. All right. We got some positivity here. How about you, Jace? I know the Mississippi State fell a bit short.
Yeah, that was. I just had a ride with my guys. I can take that L on the chin. Saturday was great. Sunday was awful. So broke even overall on the weekend.
All right. Well, we got some good ones coming up this weekend. Starting out with a real interesting Friday night ACC matchup. Looks like it's down to 3. I even saw 2.5. So let me check. Let's see. Yeah, it's mostly 3 now across the board. Talk about Clemson on the road at Louisville. So I did place a bet on the game. I don't love it, but I got a good number. I'm currently sitting on Clemson plus 3.5 at the flat minus 110. So in terms of a good number, I got it. The more I looked into it, the more I'm a little bit like there were 2.5s open last night. I actually thought about just buying out and middling it. But what do you guys think? Clemson, Louisville, Jace, what do you think? Friday night.
I like them on the money line. This is just it's a weird number to me. I like how Clemson played last week against Florida State, and Friday nights I think it's always in favor of the underdog. And yeah, I think Dabo's gonna have those boys ready. And I see Louisville's in contract extension with Coach Braun, which that's good for him, and their program moving forward. But yeah, give me Clemson. We're in November. This is their time.
Well, okay. So in terms of Clemson's defense against Louisville, I love the matchup. Louisville's offense is just not very good. It's very reliant on their RBs making explosive plays, Isaac Brown and Duke Watson. Isaac Brown he might be out for the season. He's not playing in this game. He didn't play last week, and he was missed. It was noticeable that Isaac Brown wasn't on the field for this Louisville offense, and Duke Watson isn't 100% either. For those of you that don't follow along with Louisville, they're a very, very strong defense, and they have 2 very talented running backs. That's how the team is built. Miller Moss just hasn't played that well this year. This isn't like a passing attack that scares you for Louisville. So with the injuries at running back, the way Clemson just shut down Florida State last week. Florida State's an offense that has looked pretty efficient all year. They've had their problems. It hasn't been the offense. The offense is moving the ball. Their problems were turnovers, penalties, the intangible stuff. But the offense always looked efficient. Not last week. Clemson shut them down. So in terms of the Clemson defense against the Louisville offense, I'm in. I think they're going to blanket them. But where I'm starting to have some hesitations, I don't know how healthy Cade Klubnik is. So apparently he missed all of last week with practice he had a bruise on his quad and he could hardly walk. And that offense didn't look good against Florida State. Week 10 against Duke, Klubnik was back. Antonio Williams was back. Tristan Lee was back on the offensive line. And we were all kind of like, oh, Clemson's offense is back, 45 points against Duke. Well, they may have beaten Florida State comfortably. The offense didn't look that great. Success rate under 34% in that game. And I don't want Cade Klubnik with a leg injury against Louisville's pass rush. That's insane. It's one of the best pass rushers in the country. So I'm worried about Clemson's offense. I'm on Clemson plus 3.5. I was thinking about middling it. But it looks like you can't even get a 2.5. So you can get a juice 2.5. What do you think, Kyle?
Kind of sounds like you like the under there, Kyle, when you talk about the matchups. But I like Clemson here if I'm taking a side. I think that Louisville's kind of in that bubble burst situation. Like they had everything to play for up until last week. That was a huge loss to Cal. I mean, that's a tough one. You win at Miami, then lose to Cal. The ACC makes very little sense, to be honest. I mean, we know they're not very good, but they're fun. And I think Clemson here, the thing about Dabo is, I'm not the biggest Clemson fan, but you have to give Sweeney credit that when his teams appear like they shouldn't really care, he does motivate the players to keep playing. Very good motivator of a team. And Miller Moss has not been very good. I mean, Miller Moss, 67.3 PFF grade, 56 and 46 PFF the last 2 games. 9 big-time throws, 15 turnover-worthy plays. I mean, the only time his numbers look even decent when you look at it is play action. Just in regular plays, under any kind of pressure, he's been really poor. I think he'll be under pressure in this one. Clemson's 37th strength of schedule, Sagarin. Louisville is 62nd. They're very similar margins, yards per play, PPA, that type of thing. Clemson's definitely a more talented team. They've obviously underachieved in a big way, but there's no way I could lay points here with Louisville. It's either Clemson or under for me.
Yeah. I'm going to let it rock because I'm on a good number at 3.5, but I'm a little. I think I could see Clemson's offense really struggling.
And to what Kyle mentioned about Miller Moss, it's like when he does the same thing every year. He has like a good couple first 3 weeks, whatever, because there's not a lot of tape on him. Then like come week 8 or 9, it's like he's dang near a weakness on your offense at this point. It's like it's the same thing over and over with him.
Miller Moss's highest passer rating in his last 3 games is a 75.9 against Virginia Tech. So he has not looked good. All right, let's move on to the next one. And I'm sorry, Jace, but I did do it. But if it makes you feel,
I'm not offended. It's 18. If it was like +7, I'm like, okay, now you're. But it's well, like.
So what I did actually was the graphic on the screen says South Carolina +19. The bet I actually placed, and I almost never do this. I try to stick to the bigger markets. I'm on South Carolina first half +10.5, and I think South Carolina is going to connect on a couple of big plays early. That's my angle. There's a couple things at play here. So obviously we know South Carolina's offense has been terrible, right? No one's going to argue that. They went nuts on Texas A&M last year, 44 points. They kind of delivered the knockout punch to A&M's season, you could say. Maybe that's not the best way to phrase it, but that loss hurt for Texas A&M. They lost 44-20. Sellers was excellent. Rocket Sanders was excellent. They couldn't stop South Carolina. Now, this year, South Carolina's offense is terrible, but they just fired the play caller. They just move on from the OC. They're bringing in Mike Fury, I think. He's the wide receivers coach. He's taking over as play caller. So I think that gives South Carolina a little bit of unpredictability as far as what we're going to see early on. And if the wide receiver coach is taking over, maybe that means some more downfield throwing. Again, that's complete speculation. I just think maybe maybe South Carolina, their offense has a little bit of element of surprise here early in the game. And the one thing Texas A&M has struggled with defensively this year is explosive plays. So I could see South Carolina connecting on a couple big plays early and maybe even be winning this game at halftime, as crazy as that sounds. So I took the first half +10.5. On the other side of the ball, the A&M's offense is a wagon, but South Carolina has been strong against the run. So what South Carolina has struggled with is quarterbacks that drop back and deliver throws from the pocket, which obviously he's more than capable of doing, but it's not exactly what we've seen from Texas A&M. I think the number's too big, so I pick South Carolina. I'm on the first half +10.5. Jace, is the number too big?
If they cover, I'm not gonna act like I'm gonna be surprised. But I've said earlier on this program, like in the earlier weeks, like it's dangerous to take A&M with double digits just because it's one. I just think that the conference is so athletic in general, and at the end of the day, Sellers hasn't had the best year, but we could argue that he's obviously the most gifted person on the football field this Saturday morning when they play at 11 a.m. So I'll never underestimate South Carolina, like because there's games, like I said, they should have beat Alabama about 3 weeks ago, and so they fumbled that through their that was all on their own doing. Alabama really didn't do anything to earn that W. So I'll never underestimate South Carolina. However, I don't think your bet's a bad bet either, +10 at the first half. But I do think they're going to have the element of surprise, kind of like DJ Durkin last week against Vanderbilt. The interim, there's fresh excitement. The offense, they're probably going to be like, yeah, this is what was holding us back, so we're going to do everything opposite. That's cool. It might, like I said, it might last the first half, but I think A&M wins by 20. I think they cover. So yeah, give me A&M in the spread.
Kyle, 19.5, 19. Is that too many?
I don't want to bet this game, guys. This is one of the last ones I'd want to bet. Can I just ask Jace a question here instead? I want to get the mindset here. What is Texas A&M's mindset here? You think they're kind of perturbed by being third in the rankings and they want to run up scores? Or do you think that They just want to get through the season and stay undefeated. What do you think would be the mindset there?
Definitely, I don't think I know Coach Evko doesn't, but the rankings, I don't think they're worried or caught up in that because, okay, you guys, I think we acknowledge that our schedule is in favor of us compared to some other SEC schools this year. Like last year, we were on we drew the short end of the stick, and so I think we're aware of our schedule. And like everybody's like, oh, you've played 4 teams that have coaches fired, and none of them have a winning record. Like that's all valid. So I think our players are just more so, let's just try to dominate while we're on the field. And so maybe more of the second option of not get through the season, but whatever the guys are bashing us for, because right now they're saying it's our defense still or offense, this and that. It's like, let's just clean up our little things while we can these next 3 weeks. And like I said, hopefully we're in Atlanta for the SEC championship.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have the chance to answer all of that anyway, rather than worry about the rankings now. I mean, obviously, I'm not with the team, but
if it was BCS, I think yes, they would be a lot more upset. The BCS where it's only 4, but 12 teams. It's like at this point, it's like, yeah, we want to win, and 12-0 would be incredible. But it's like I'd rather have Marcel Reed healthy week 13 than, because to your point, what you said earlier, Kyle. I remember watching that game last year in South Carolina. I'm pretty sure we were winning or it was tied at halftime, but Le'Veon Moss, he was dominating for like 4. He was in a crazy stretch, and then he got smoked on the sideline. He was out the game. Like it was just bad. And I said crazy things happened there at nighttime, and that was and then we lost to Auburn that next week. So yeah, those 2 games knocked us out of the playoffs, and that was tough. So I think that will be in the back of their mind of more so don't play with your food this weekend and let's get on them early in the first quarter. That's what I think the mindset will be.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. Texas A&M scored a touchdown to take the lead with a few minutes left in the second quarter. South Carolina kicked a field goal to tie it right before half. All right, let's move on to the next game, which is this is the first one that I actually didn't have a play on. I kind of disagree with the movement, though. It's moving down. It's actually, you can get Duke at a flat 4 now. So I'll put Duke up for me, but I'm all ears. I do have thoughts on the game, but I don't actually have any action on it. So I'm all ears. Kyle, did you have any interest in this one?
Well, I think somebody must think Chandler Morris is going to play and is doing decent, right? Because I don't know why the line would move down this much otherwise. I think it was kind of priced that
3.5 just now.
Somebody definitely thinks Morris is okay. He's going to play here. I think the market kind of thought he wasn't going to play to start out, and now that's what we're seeing the adjustment for. I would take Duke at this price. I mean, Virginia wasn't really being that impressive even with Chandler Morris. They were just kind of covering in the weirdest ways. Like I said, this is the ACC, so none of it makes a ton of sense. But Darian Mensah, 90.6 PFF grade this year, 94.2 PFF grade when kept clean. I think Duke is going to score plenty of points here. And Duke, the fact that they're off that loss to UConn, I think that helps here. I mean, that was a bad spot for them. It's still disappointing to lose to UConn. Fagnano, who's been excellent this year, 25 touchdowns, 0 picks. That's fantastic. He just picked them apart. I'm not really sure that Virginia can throw all over them like UConn did in that one. And I trust Duke to score points here. I think Duke's going to score. So the question is, can Virginia trade scores? Morris less than 100% healthy if he plays. I have to take Duke here. I mean, it's definitely at least a little bit tricky betting this one without knowing exactly how Morris is doing, and somebody's definitely coming in here on Virginia. I think Duke is the only side I could bet, and minus 3.5. I'm getting close to taking it.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. It just popped 3.5 on ESPN Bet. It looks like it's still a 4, but juiced towards the Virginia side on Pinnacle. I agree. Duke has had one glaring weakness this year. The secondary can't seem to cover anybody. They really could use Terry Moore back. That's their safety, recovering from an ACL or injury. I don't even know if he's coming back this year. I don't know. They're being pretty cagey with it. I think he got the surgery 10 or 11 months ago, so he's still recovering, and that's one of their best DBs that hasn't played this year. And that's been the glaring weakness for Duke. They can't cover anybody. But one thing they have is a strong defensive line. They're pretty good against the run. Virginia, even when Chandler Morris is healthy, man, they haven't had an efficient passing attack in a while. I mean, even in the Florida State game, if you remember, huge win. I think it was a Friday night. We all watched. We all had Virginia, I think, too. It was awesome. Chandler Morris was doing it with his legs. Virginia was running the ball. I mean, Virginia hasn't had a dynamic passing attack in a while since the first few games of the season. So even if Chandler Morris plays, this isn't the offense I would expect to exploit what Duke's weakest against. And this is a Virginia offense that, I mean, let's just say it. I don't want to say the word lucky. This offense hasn't been efficient in a while. I mean, in their last 5 games, they've got a success rate under 35%. They're averaging under 4.8 yards per play. Their defense is playing well. This team won a bunch of games. Like, you could take 4 or 5 of their wins and switch them over to losses, but a simple bounce of the ball. I think Duke has been on the receiving end of those bad bounces at the end of some of these games, and I think Duke's the considerably better team. I want to give Virginia's defense some credit. They have played well. In their last 4 games, the defensive numbers are great. What offense have they seen? North Carolina, Cal, Wake Forest. Those are the 3 worst offenses in the conference, by the way. And then Washington State is thrown in there. In fact, if you take a step back and take it even a deeper look at Virginia's schedule this year, when talking about their defense, who are the good offenses they've seen? The 3 toughest offenses that Virginia's seen this year: NC State, Louisville, both teams that NC State is a good offense. It's not elite. Louisville, they've struggled offensively. And then Florida State. In those 3 games, they're allowing over 33 points per game, over 6.3 yards per play. The defensive numbers don't even look good. So I'm not even sure how good I think this Virginia defense is. I think Virginia's just an overvalued team, and Duke coming off the loss to UConn. UConn, like Kyle said, a team that can exploit a weak secondary because their quarterback most definitely can throw it. Duke's going to be the best offense Virginia has seen all year. I honestly think Duke can win via blowout. So, yeah, if it's 3.5, if that's still available when we're done recording this, I'm taking it. Jace? Oh, no, Jace is a Virginia guy. He likes that team.
I was going to say, I feel like Virginia hasn't really done anything the past 6 weeks. After the Florida State game, they've just been going through the motion. Like you said, the ball's just been going their way, and they've been winning nail-biters. I mean, they were at, half an inch away from losing to North Carolina, and then it was the same. I mean, it was really the same situation last week against Wake Forest. I mean, they drove all the way down there. They just couldn't finish it to send it to overtime. And
they almost lost to Washington State. They will beat Louisville in overtime. Like, all these games are coin flips.
Duke is the much better, in my eyes, they're the much better team. Their offense is much more dynamic. I think you got to give them the better quarterback play at the moment, even if Morris is fully healthy, like you said. But just based off the ACC this year, I gotta go Virginia. I gotta take Virginia because the ACC doesn't make sense at all. Just whenever you get high on a team like I am on Louisville, then they go drop a game. Or Miami was the best team ever, then they dropped 2 games, and now SMU's losing to Wake Forest, and now Wake Forest is getting blown out by 4. Like, I just think whatever makes sense go opposite. And so I love Duke here, but I just have a feeling because I counter the whole UConn loss to Duke because Virginia just lost 2, and like they still think they can play for an ACC championship. And so, yeah, I think Tony gets these boys right. I'm gonna ride with the Cavaliers one more time this weekend.
Well, that is why I don't have any action in the game. What I wrote down is Virginia is the king of, that team where it's like you're watching it and you're like, oh, this team's getting their ass beat. And then you look up and you're like, it's only 23-20 and they have the ball. Yeah. They're that team that just like finds a way to stay in games.
Like, in the football real world, like what you just said, Duke, I think it could get ugly and they pull away. But just based on the results we've seen on consistency with ACC teams this year, I think Virginia is going to be like, what the hell? And they're going to come out Saturday and be firing. And
Duke's been the king of being the much better team and then somehow finding a way to lose, too. So
they dominated Georgia Tech that first half. And
Same goes for Illinois. They dominated that game and somehow lost. Like, there's been a few games or 2 where Duke was clearly the better team and lost. Iowa USC. First of all, shout out Hawkeyes. That was such a fun game. And I don't really love the rain games. Snow games are fun. Rain football games tend to be a little boring. The play calling's extremely limited. And that was fun. That was a fun watch start to finish. Heartbreaker for Iowa.
I hate he made that throw. That was an amazing throw and catch at the very end. I hate he made that because I couldn't even be mad.
Chase, you going back to the Hawkeye? You're low-key a Hawkeyes guy. You kind of made it clear.
I'm more anti-Lincoln Riley than anything. However, I'm torn on this one just because I do think Iowa will be able to run the ball much better. I mean, they were able to get a little bit of production against Oregon running it late, but I think they'll have much more success running the ball against USC. I've just been burned by USC these past couple of games. When their offense gets going, it's like they turn into superstars whenever I'm watching. And it's like no one's ever going to get a stop. The passing, they're just unbelievable. And so I don't want to give them too much credit. I don't even know what the spread is at this time, but I'm on Iowa. 6.5. Yeah, I think I'm on Iowa. I know that's not very confident, and the viewers will probably like get this guy off the channel, but
No, well, Kyle's our Big Ten guy, so I probably should have passed it to Kyle first. Kyle, one thing Jay said I found to be very true. Yes, Iowa should run the ball on USC's defensive front. I don't think anyone would even argue that. Iowa's going to run the ball. They're going to move the chains. But, I mean, I don't care how good Iowa's defense is. I think USC at home might be as good as it gets offensively.
Yeah.
I think they could score. They lit Michigan the hell up. Like, they made Michigan look like Michigan State. And so that as much as I think Iowa's going to run the ball, the question is, do you think Iowa can make stops?
They made granted it's Northwestern, but they literally made Northwestern look like a scout team on defense last week. Like they were just running through plays. Any pass play over 20 yards was getting completed, and there wasn't a guy within like 5 yards within them. It was so frustrating.
Kyle, you think Iowa's defense can make stops here?
Also, that fake punt. That was an interesting play.
Yeah.
But if you like Iowa, you got to get the sevens. There's sevens available out there. I think, first of all, about last week's game, Iowa making that 58-yard kick into the rain, that was insane. That impressed me as much as anything I saw last week. What a kick. Iowa just so amazing, a special team, and keeping games close. That's why I haven't bet this game. I do kind of lean USC. I don't think I'm going to bet this game, to be honest with you, but USC's offense is so good. It's just hard for me to see Iowa's defense that's good but not amazing. They're 68th nationally in rushing success rate allowed, 9th in rushing defense grade at PFF in the Big Ten. USC is first nationally in yards per play. I really think USC is going to score here, and I'm just questioning whether Iowa is going to be able to score enough to keep up. I like Iowa. To be honest with you, they're one of my favorite teams. I like Ferentz. I like rooting for Iowa if they're not playing Ohio State, but Iowa's, how many do we think they can score here? I don't know. I mean, USC's defense, not great, but they probably have to score, 24 points, something like that. I don't know if they can get to 24. I think they'll run a lot. If they get behind early, it could be bad for them because I don't see them being able to throw their way back into this game. But, to me, USC, different animal at home. They just score so well offensively. Just a team that impresses me a lot. I will say that it's supposed to rain here. It's really strange to see rain in a game at USC. So I don't exactly know what that'll do. You could definitely argue that would help Iowa. So I lean USC, but I don't think I'm going to bet this one.
I lean towards USC as well. And yeah, like I said, Iowa's going to run the ball. They've been running the ball on everybody. Indiana, Wisconsin's got a decent defensive front. Penn State, Minnesota, Oregon, they've been running the ball. They did run a little bit on Oregon at the end. So they're going to run the ball on USC, who struggles against the run. But we just saw Northwestern go into USC and average 5.2 yards per carry, over 54% success rate per rush. How much better can you run it than that? They were running the shit out of the ball on USC. They still lost by 3 touchdowns. So USC is going to open the game up, and as good as I think Iowa's defense is, USC's offense is first in the country in PPA per play. First. The most explosive offense in the country. In their 3 home games, they're averaging over 55% success rate, over 7.6 yards per play. They're averaging 38 points per game. Their last 2 were against Northwestern and Michigan. Those are their 3 home Big Ten games. I didn't even include when they lit up Georgia Southern earlier in the year. That's not even in on these numbers. They scored like 100 against them. They also lit up Missouri State. This offense at home is just a different animal. So, in fact, I'm not sure if there's any offense in the country I would put up with USC's at home. So, yeah, I don't think Iowa could keep up. I guess USC. I thought about an over, but the thing is, if you're Kirk Ferentz and you're Iowa,
you're keeping the ball.
Yeah, you have one game plan: slow this game the hell down and hold on to the ball as long as possible. That's your actual game plan.
Yeah, if Iowa has any more, I don't even know what the average per game, but Iowa can't have more than like 3 and outs or it's over. Like, you can't waste any possession. If they turn it over once, I'm like, okay, that was your chance to stay in the game. the cover is going to be it's going to be a full sweat if it's even close. Like I said, I'm not. Don't take this one to the bank for Iowa plus 6.5.
You can't get a 7 if you like Iowa. Oklahoma, Alabama. Speaking of getting a 7, I have a 7 in this one. I'm on these Sooners. Jace, do you agree?
Nope. Told you I'm done with them. I'm sticking true to it. I'm not falling for the propaganda. OU's got a great defense.
What propaganda, dude? What propaganda?
That OU's is good because they beat a Tennessee team at home in Knoxville. Like, kudos. Like, nobody is actually taking Tennessee seriously all year. Like, Joey was never going to get it done. He wasn't going to lead them to the college football championship. I think it might be close at first, but Ty Simpson and their offense is going to be too much. After getting embarrassed last year by 30 on the road, I think Womack's going to have a great game plan for Mateer. And, yeah, I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with Bama. So I want Bama in by double digits.
No, that's incorrect. Kyle, tell him. You're muted.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I don't want to bet a side in this one. So I guess you guys will just have to be head-to-head, and we'll see for bragging rights next week. I kind of lean the under in this game. Alabama's defense has been pretty good. The only way you can really move it on Alabama consistently is run the football. Oklahoma can't run the football. I mean, they haven't been good at running against anybody. Oklahoma's defense is very good. Now, are they at least somewhat propped up by playing weak offenses? I think that's probably the case. They'll stop the run here. It's up to Simpson to throw it well. Simpson's been playing great. I mean, and to be honest with you, if Bama keeps winning, Simpson's odds will probably get shorter to win the Heisman because he's going to have some opportunities here in big games. But to me, Oklahoma, they didn't look great against Aguilar or Chambliss defensively. I do think that the game will be played to a slow pace. But Kyle, the reason I'm really scared about Oklahoma is Mateer has really not been good ever since he got injured. I mean, so many games he has looked questionable. His PFF grades, which had been consistently up in the 80s since the injury, 29.5 that first game where he probably shouldn't have played, 57.5, 52.4, and 63.9. So he struggled quite a bit. I don't really trust him to beat Bama. I think I'd probably side with Jace if I had to take a side here, but I'll just go with the under. I'll let you guys duke it out.
You guys,
Kyle, before you go, I just wanted to go on record. After this, I want to hear your breakdown of OU against when we did the show against when they played Ole Miss. Just because I'm interested to hear what changes now.
I've actually hit every single Oklahoma game 4 in a row. I had Texas against them, then I picked Oklahoma against South Carolina, then I picked Ole Miss against Oklahoma, and then I picked Oklahoma against Tennessee. I've hit 4 Oklahoma games in a row. I know.
So I said I want to hear. I got to hear.
I have my thumb on the pulse of the Oklahoma market. This game comes down to a field goal. Want to talk about propaganda, man. We talk a lot about Ty Simpson and this Alabama offense that hasn't even looked good in their last 2 games. 5.2 yards per play, success rate under 29%. We're not even talking about how Alabama's offense has played 2 poor games in a row, and now they're playing arguably the best defense in the country, led by a coach that punked DeBoer last year. Punked him. Had him in an absolute coffin last year. Held to 3 points, 4.1 yards per play. DeBoer did absolutely nothing against Venables' defense last year. Now, I'm not expecting them to that's not going to happen again. But Venables, I mean, we're all thinking it's a revenge spot. Well, what if Venables just knows how to coach against this guy? Alabama can't run the ball. They haven't been able to run the ball all year. They're not going to be able to run the ball on the best defensive line in the country. Ty Simpson is the man. He's handled pressure well, so it's not that I don't think he can handle the pass rush, but he does have a tendency to hold on to the football a bit long. Oklahoma leads the conference in sacks, leads the country in tackles for loss. This is a defense that can get off the field. And Oklahoma's offense, look, I've been very vocal about how I don't feel it's very good. And Mateer hasn't been throwing the ball efficiently at all. Where is this running game coming from? Over 5.2 yards per carry in their last 2 games, 44.6% success rate per rush. Granted, it was against Ole Miss and Tennessee's defense, but Alabama's defense against the run isn't even very good. That linebacker, Quay Russo, got injured for the year a few weeks ago. I mean, they did a good job against South Carolina and LSU, but we saw Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, Georgia all running the ball on Alabama. In those 4 games, they allowed almost 6 yards per carry. I think Oklahoma can run the ball a little bit in this game, and Mateer's due for a good game too. I don't like using the word due, but to get a +7, I thought was great. I think A.J. Simpson's going to take some sacks in this game. I think Alabama's offense is going to struggle to run the ball. They're going to be very reliant on explosive plays, and they're not going to have a ton of time in the pocket to connect on them. I think Oklahoma's going to play conservatively on offense. They're going to run the ball, play to Alabama's weakness. This is a 2019 final score. Oklahoma might win.
What time is it?
3:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so the prime time.
Yeah, this by the way, this game is to Alabama clinches a spot in the SEC championship if they win. Mm-hmm. Next up, North Carolina Wake. I'm on the +6.5. Gentlemen, Kyle, what do you think about this one?
So I think this is my favorite bet that we talk about here today. Love Wake Forest team total under. I think team total under 22.5 is a really good bet. I definitely like UNC as well, and I would take +6.5. But I love the team total under. What have they done offensively lately? I mean, they did nothing on offense last week. That was just a horribly ugly game. They won because Morris got hurt, and the special teams touchdown. Wake Forest is averaging 3.5 yards per play in their last 3 games, 3rd worst in the nation. And kind of quietly, UNC, I mean, everybody wanted to make fun of UNC at the beginning of the year. I think everybody said something like, Belichick going to UNC. And look, their offense is still bad, but their defense has been dominant. They've been amazing lately. This defense has been so good. UNC's defense, 3.4 yards per play allowed in the last 3 games. I know the opponents in the last 3 games haven't been very good. Somebody's going to say that. I get it. But Wake Forest's offense isn't very good either. And UNC is going to play slow. They're bottom 5 in the country in tempo, very methodical drives. I think UNC has a decent chance of winning this game. And I would probably take money line as well for a sprinkle here. But 22.5, I mean, I don't know if they'll get to 17 in a game like this. This is a total of 38.5. Wake Forest, they're reliant on explosives. That's all they do well, is break a big play once in a while. They're 129th in success rate on offense. North Carolina's 9th in explosiveness allowed. They're excellent in red zone defense. I don't see how Wake's scoring. So, if they pick 6 and score 1 or 2 special teams touchdowns and I lose, then I lose. But I think under 22.5 is a really good bet. And I think I'd sprinkle some on the money line here too.
Agree with every single word. I'm on the +6.5. And yeah, we like to make jokes about how bad North Carolina's offense is, and it's terrible. They have the better offense in this game. It's better than Wake. Wake's offense is awful. Robbie Ashford, I mean, not to take shots at anybody, he's not playing well. They don't have much of a passing attack at all. The run game's inconsistent. Claiborne can run it a little bit, and even Ashford's a pretty good athlete, but it's not a consistent run game. It's a really bad offense in Wake Forest. And so as much as you want to say about North Carolina's offense, they probably have the slightly better offense in this game. And then defensively, look, Wake's been official as hell. Florida State lit them up. They kind of got back on track last week against Virginia, even though Chandler Morris got hurt in the second quarter. North Carolina's defense has been every bit as elite in the last few games. They're allowing, under 3.8 yards per play in their last 4 games, a decent sample size here. So, yeah, I completely agree with Kyle. I don't know how Wake's scoring. They're relying on explosive plays. North Carolina, as Kyle said, elite at limiting the big plays. These two teams in their last 5 games, all 5 games have been decided by 1 possession. So I'm not sure where a Wake Forest blowout is coming from here, where they would be laying a number like 6.5. Yeah, I agree with every single word, and I'm on this. North Carolina +6.5. You with us, Chase?
I am, but I'm also like what you say in the Discord on this week's episode of Bad Bets.
Yeah.
I'm not just trolling. I definitely, like Kyle said, I think the money line's very live. So I'm definitely gonna do a North Carolina, Clemson, and Virginia ACC little 3-teamer. That's for sure gonna be my weekly
little 3-teamer.
My little weekly gamble. That's it. Just for funsies.
So it's North Carolina, Clemson, and Virginia.
Yeah,
there you go.
I just think that we keep saying the same thing about North Carolina offense. We're like, yeah, they're really not that good, but they're better than the other team's offense. Like that's exactly what we said for Syracuse and Yeah, I think North Carolina's every game this year, maybe besides TCU, has been competitive. I think they're getting better. I don't know their record. Are they 4-6 or 5-5?
I'm not sure their record. I know that they.
I was gonna say, I think they're getting close to bowl eligibility, so I think that would be a huge momentum for the program, and I think that they're definitely going to be playing for that. And like I said, what a better team to do it against than Wake Forest, whose offense it's Robbie Ashford at the end of the day. You're not taking shots. I can do that. So
Yeah.
I think I played against them.
They're 4-5, but their last two losses against Cal and Virginia, you could make the argument that they should have won both those games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're right there in all these games.
So they should, you could make the argument that North Carolina should be on a 4-game winning streak right now. All right, we all agree there. Next one on the board, we got two left. Texas, Georgia. I ended up adding this one this morning. Don't let me down, Arch. I'm on hook. I'm on Texas. Jace, do you believe in Arch Manning here?
No. But I don't. It's not like I don't believe him. I don't think he needs to do anything special to win this game. I think this is going to come down to their defense being able to stop Georgia just at home. And not that Georgia's offense has been anything, super powerful, but I do think they're building momentum. And I know it was Mississippi State last week, but even the week before that, you got some receivers like St.Thomas who haven't really been playing as well all year, but now they're trying to start to make some plays, explosive plays that is, and build some confidence. I think this is a must-win game for Texas if they want to, because they're already anticipating beating A&M in 2 weeks and then already having a push for the playoffs. But I think this is a perfect opportunity for Georgia just to nip that in the bud. And Kirby Smart's 2-0. He's 2-0 against Sark last year, and then I don't see why they don't win this weekend. Texas is good. They're getting better. They're playing hot, but they also should have lost to Kentucky. Should have lost to Mississippi State.
That's the old Texas.
They tried to lose against Vanderbilt. They did literally gave the onside kick away. 20 points in the fourth. Yeah, that's cool. And I think Texas is healthy this week, so good for them. Taft's back. Ryan Wingo's healthy. They all practice within the contact jerseys. So I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm more excited to watch it. I haven't, like Spoon said, I haven't gone to the ticket window with any of these bets, but I want Georgia to win.
I did go to the window, So yes, like Jay said, Kirby's 2-0 against Sark. Both were last year, and you can make the very strong argument that Texas should have won the SEC championship game. Whatever, not to even get into that kind of debate, but I felt they were the stronger team. They found a way to lose it at the end, so kind of a double revenge spot here for Texas. But that's not why I'm taking them. In the SEC championship, by the way, they held Georgia to 4.1 yards per play in the game. So Georgia couldn't do anything in that game.
That was Gunner's first game, though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Or Carson got hurt yet. I mean, no excuse, but I'll just
No, I know. So couple things. Number one, Georgia's defense, nothing crazy. They're playing a little bit better, but certainly not the elite Georgia defense of years past. We've seen them have problems. And this Texas offense, over 6.1 yards per play in their last two, 39.5 points per game. Granted, some of it came in overtime, the Mississippi State game. Georgia's defense, 5.2 yards per play in their last three. This is a defense that's missing two starters that were recently injured. Safety Kyron Jones, defensive tackle Jordan Hall. Looks like neither of them will be back for this game. Cornerback DeMello Jones should be back, so they're getting one cornerback. But this is Georgia defense that isn't elite and is missing starters. Arch Manning, maybe his best game of the season, or maybe his best SEC game of the season. Last week against Vanderbilt, 328 yards, a 136.9 NFL passer rating. Played great against Vanderbilt. I mean, you could argue that since halftime in the Mississippi State game, this Texas offense hit a switch because they look pretty good for 6 quarters now. I think Texas is going to be able to move the ball a little bit. I don't think Georgia's defense is very good. And on the other side, this is like the strength of the two teams, right? The Texas defense against the Georgia offense. Here's the thing. Georgia's offense didn't look very good again when they saw elite defenses. Against Auburn and Florida, under 36% success rate, 22 points per game. I mean, they should have lost to Auburn. Florida, there was a nail-biter. 24-20 they won. Texas defensively looked great pretty much all year. They got thrown on the last 2 games, but keep in mind, like Jay said, their main guy, Taffy, was out. He should be back for this one. Their other safety is Jelani McDonald. He left the Vanderbilt game after 11 snaps. So when Vanderbilt made that comeback, they were missing both their safeties. So Both those guys are going to be back, by the way. So Texas defense at full strength for the first time in a few games. Yeah, I don't think this should be 6. I think this should be about 3.5, 4. So yeah, I'm on the Longhorns. There's no chance Arch lets me down.
Hey, there's just something different about you when you start talking SEC. I think by next year you're going to be a full-time SEC fanatic.
You know what it is? I've been nailing last year was completely different. I couldn't pick anything in the SEC. I've been smoking the SEC.
Smoking the SEC.
Yeah, the SEC. I got my thumb on the SEC polls this year. Kyle, Arch?
Man, I don't want to bet this game. I want to watch this game. I ain't going to any ticket window for this one. I'm watching this one is what I'm doing. If I had to bet this game, maybe under 49. Is it 47.5 now, Kyle?
It was 47.5 when I made the graphics. Let's see.
Okay.
I'll check an update on that.
I wouldn't take under 47.5.
I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong game. It is at now. Let's get an update. Texas, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, 48.5.
Okay. 49 is the first number that I'd care to bet an under on. I think both these defenses are good. Both are great at stopping the run. So which quarterback can play better here? And Georgia's offense really wasn't very good until last week. I mean, that was a bad call of mine last week. It was Mississippi State. I mean, Stockton just looked like, a Heisman winner in that game. And that's probably more about Mississippi State's defense, which really has been pretty bad here in the last several games. But Stockton's throwing the ball downfield. His average depth of target last week was 11.3. The beginning of the year was like 5 yards. So he's really been more aggressive on offense. I don't know. If I was forced to bet it, I'd probably take Texas here, but I just don't really want to bet it. Under or Texas. But guys, this is a better game to watch than it is to bet.
Longhorns are live.
No, they are.
All right, last game on the board, and I did bet this one as well. I bet a lot of the games you guys chose. Maybe a little bit of emotions involved here. What TCU did to me last week, personally, it felt like a personal attack. I felt like I was actually offended by that performance last week against Iowa State. I don't know. I thought what happened against West Virginia, it was a tough place to play. They went on the road to Morgantown. Always a tough environment. West Virginia's defense has been tough at home. So, I'm not taking too much away from TCU struggling to score at West Virginia. Then you have a bye week. Then you're at home against the most injured Iowa State secondary, the most injured secondary in the country. And to play like that, yeah, I'm on BYU. I don't know. I don't even want to speak the name TCU again the rest of the year. I'm done with Sonny Dykes for this season. I can't believe that. That was so embarrassing. Yeah, I'm on BYU minus 4.5. Maybe a little bit of emotions here, but BYU coming off a real ugly loss to Texas Tech. Get back home, get right spot. Great defense. TCU's got a strong run defense, but Iowa State was running the ball on them last week, so I would imagine LJ Martin and BYU are able to run the ball. Yeah, when I bet this minus 4.5, I was expecting it to close 6.5. But apparently that's not the case. I'm on BYU. Kyle, you agree?
I agree. I actually thought you were going to say you're on TCU and we were going to be opposite here. But we agree on this one. BYU lost badly to Texas Tech, but we kind of expected that. I mean, Texas Tech's too much better than BYU talent-wise. BYU finds ways to win, and I believe the stat is after 6 o'clock local time, BYU home games, they're 70-6 in the last 76 games. These games are ridiculous home field advantage for BYU at home at night. And I mean, the spread's only 4.5. Of course, they could win by 3 or something, but this is not a big number. I wouldn't be laying something north of a touchdown. But BYU is excellent on special teams. They've won multiple games because they're better than everybody else on special teams. And what's wrong with Hoover? Something happened to Hoover, who started the year playing so well. I don't know what happened, but Hoover, 36.5 PFF grade under pressure. I think BYU is going to have him under pressure here. 39th in havoc created. TCU's 84th in havoc allowed. And look back to TCU, even dating back to their game against Colorado. That game was 21-21 with 5 or 6 minutes left in the game at home. They have not played well of late. This is a BYU team that I know a lot of people are like, hey, they should never be this good. Their record is better than they should be. That's probably true to some degree, but this is -4.5 at home and a great home field advantage against a TCU team that's not playing well. I don't think TCU is going to score too many points here. I really like the BYU defense. The defenses probably have the upper hand in general in this game, but BYU scores points from special teams and defense regularly. Hoover's turning the ball over a lot. I think this could be one of those games where afterwards you see it and you say, the box score doesn't really look like BYU won by that much, but they did win by a decent amount. They're kind of the kings of winning games and not winning the box score. And this feels like one of those games to me. I'm taking BYU here.
Yeah, the TCU offense just doesn't look like what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing the balls out of Josh Hoover's hands in 2 seconds. He's making quick decisions, quick reads, and he's looking indecisive at times. It looked like the first read hasn't been there, which is always there. So I don't know if Sonny Dykes is getting out coached. I'm not going to speculate as to what's going on. It just doesn't look quite as crisp as we're used to seeing with this TCU offense. Jace, were you on TCU with us last week?
I've been on TCU almost all year. And I was speaking how high I was on them, especially like weeks 2 and 3 after that game against North Carolina. But ever since K-State, they've just been so underwhelming. And like you said, Hoover's just not the same. And I think why you lost last week, it wasn't more so because you were so high on TCU. I think it's because Matt Campbell's a friend of the show probably and watches, and you finally faded him. So it was only right that you lost that, because you fading Iowa State is crazy, especially with plus 6.5 or 7, whatever it is. Like I was out of character for you. And
I got -5.5. I got a good number.
That's a good number then. But yeah, I agree with both of you. I think this is. I'm sure everybody in the country will also think this is going to be a BYU spot, and they're going to cover with ease because it is at nighttime, and I think they are the much better team. And not to talk about Texas Tech, but last week, like, that was a dominant defense performance, but like Texas Tech's offense didn't look good at all. Like the kicker had 18 points. Like fantasy, I couldn't imagine how many that would have scored for you, but like that was not a fun, like that wasn't an exciting game to watch. I'm not downplaying any win. Like congrats to Texas Tech, but that game was kind of underwhelming. I thought it was going to be more points and more exciting, but I think this is a good bounce back spot for BYU, and we'll see how TCU travels on the road. Like I said, the Big 12 hasn't made a lot of sense this year either, so TCU might put up 30 in the first half. Who knows?
Yeah, we all agree again. Kyle, where can the folks find your stuff?
Yeah, you can go to huntersportspicks.com. Like I said, it's been a great run here. Started out college basketball really well too. I think 18-7 to start college basketball. So it's been a lot of long nights handicapping the college basketball card and sticking with all the football and everything. November's a really busy month here, but you can check out my work there at huntersportspicks.com. The free picks newsletters over there. Do the Bet US show there with Scott Seidenberg and Duck, who's on here on Thursday nights. And then also the spaces on Friday nights, which are a lot of fun, where we just kind of do like a last minute look over the whole card.
Cool. Yeah, that's his Twitter right there on the screen. And that's also Jace Sternberger's Twitter. Jace, where can they find you?
That's the only place you can find me. Twitter. I'm hiding.
You're not on Instagram anymore?
No, I am. I that's a complete different Jace. That's dad Jace. I post my kids, and I'm a very happy man of that. Twitter's for fighting with trolls.
So yeah, that's dad Jace. Twitter is where you're demon Jace.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a good night. See you all tomorrow. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I have a video up where I go through the Jets-Patriots game and the Troy-Old Dominion game, which is also for Thursday night. So you want to go check that out. I go through the 2 Thursday night football games. I put it in the same video, by the way, the college football game and rather than upload 2 separate videos, I just put them all in one. So if you guys want to check that out, thanks, everyone, for watching this marathon show. 2 hours we've been live. Yeah. Everyone, have a good night. I don't have the betting league standings up. I'll get them up. If you're in the group, I'll get them up for you in about 10 minutes. I lost tonight, so I'm not in first place. But yeah, everyone, have a good night.